Did anyone saw Giants getting this far? No, nobody did. And now we're here. We have to say bye-bye to either FNATIC or Liquid. Who is it gonna be? This is the question we'll answer for you.
Yeah, and it's an impossible one to answer at that. But it looks like we're going to be getting off to a very quick start. Already seeing the Viper utility in tandem with the Tigers on either side, spotting some info. Now, in the meantime, there's been a bit of a push around into middle. A lot of space already garnered for FNATIC, but, well, Scream... I was going to say, he's a little bit out of dash range at this point. He's got to make sure that he does fall back, but it's a bait for Yumpy. He'll only find himself one, and now the remaining players rotate through, but Soulcast and Scream have both found kills.
They might have both found kills. But this doesn't necessarily mean that this is already done. Doma finds Scream, who's awkwardly not hitting his shot. Soulcast goes through, but...
Oh, no!
He just goes past him, and it was just trying to flick on it. Soulcast is whiffing. Suddenly, this is all in contention for FNATIC.
Oh!
Doma starting with an ace, and he brings it home for FNATIC. No way. And what did Ryan say? He's gonna Scream, gonna have a good night. There you go, Doma. Sweet dreams to everyone on Liquid.
Wow. Well, yeah, he was saying that maybe Boaster has had a few words with him before the match, tried to get him a little bit more pumped up, but this is just ridiculous. I think he saved multiple teammates in this round through them trying to go into an angle, ending up blind, and then Doma just hits every single headshot. It is the final map, and those pistol rounds are going to be so crucial to get off to a strong start, and Doma has just given that over to FNATIC.
Honestly, Tom, this pistol round is once more a perfect explanation of how this game has been looking like. Tight, close, impossible. How do you do that? What in God's name happened? This has been this best of 5. And as Soulcast moves through, it is a sick flash. Can only find one. It's still decent stuff. And now Yumpy is just awaiting his teammates to help him there. They all are in front of the gates of A.
If they can delay, Link can do so much in this round. Now, there is going to be the turret watching, which might make things a little bit more difficult. The Gravity were looking to pull them in from behind. They haven't checked the angle properly. It's a double take, and it's making things costly at least.
The HP, Tom. The HP might become a problem. Boaster's only on 46. Yumpy knows that those players are just a few body shots away, but he only got 4 bullets in that magazine. Link, in the meanwhile, he was creeping up on them the entire time, but Dirk got the clue and the idea. Nobody where Link you could be found. Easily done, though, in the end. I mean, the thing is, right, Tom, I just want to give you that thought in your head. The last time both of them met on this map, it ended with a 13-11. And ended with a 13-11 where Scream lost a 1 versus 3 clutch. So what are we expecting here? I don't even need to go further here.
Yeah, of course. It's expected to be a close map, but both of the teams will have come back, worked on the issues that they had previously, tried to adapt to counter their opposition, and it's always tougher to play that same matchup and win it twice in a row. As said, though, FNATIC, they got off to a flying start. Now, they've lost a fair few players here and there, so they're actually going to have some rifles coming into this round, both Mystic and Doma. Of course, Doma having a fair bit of extra cash after what was a very impressive first round. They're also taking an awful lot of control. And there isn't a whole lot of information being garnered. They're going to try and aggress. Magnum's just waiting. He shouldn't get away with more than 1 hit, but he does! 2 headshots off the back of the Spectre. Well, more than 2, I'd say, with how much damage that gun actually does. And now they pulled a rotation away. There was 1 defender of this B site to begin with. Well, now he's the defender of defenders spawn.
True. In the meantime, his Link starts good. Only one he gets, and he can't protect that B-bomb spot that easily. Team Liquid, Jesus Christ, that is taking a toll at one point. Getting devoured right here for the moment, and the 3-0 off FNATIC seems inevitable. There's no way around it. I think Scream and Soulcast are talented players, but it would be somewhat of an insane sensation if they turn this one around. They still look for frags, but nobody of FNATIC is showing. Why would they, is the question.
I'm surprised Scream is even still here. Like, if he was close to a Blade Storm, like, okay, get a couple of kills and maybe you get it online. But they're just trying to make this one costly. But with the fact that they're not going to be coming in with much for the next round anyway, that trade's absolutely fine for FNATIC. This was their bonus round. Like, they're coming out with 3 weapons and they're going to be rifles, which is more than they started with. So I don't think they're going to mind this too much at all. And, well, Scream leaves with at least an extra kill, but realistically, this 3-0 start for FNATIC is a worry.
Yeah. Or to say it in the words of Warren Buffett, stonks. brilliant stuff from FNATIC. I mean, those kills from Magnum, brilliant. The rapid fire and at the same time the control he can get with this tiny weapon, astonishing.
Means that this next round might see a slight battle for orb control. Soulcast getting the Seekers here could be a pretty big deal, but you have to bear in mind that FNATIC can see exactly what we can see. They know that they're very close to getting some of these ultimates, and sure, a bullet to the head would do exactly the same job, but they are waiting for anybody to challenge for this. Now instead, we're actually going to go pushing around in towards spawn. It definitely has its risks about it, especially with Mystic just millimeters away from stepping back into an opponent. Oh,
hello?
That's not pretty from Scream, but he'll get away with it. And now can look to try and escape. The problem is his route past is cut off, and Mystic will decapitate him.
Not a very Scream-esque situation. Usually this ends up in the start of a drum and bass playlist, and then the frag movie starts.
I've seen the player in mid as well.
Yep.
They know where two of the players are. Like, this almost guarantees that the site is clear, and the power of this Astra is that Boaster can put utility down from anywhere on the map. So it's so easy for him to just play this lurk role. He can set up his teammates while also catching off rotations, and in this case, he's opened up B.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm a big
No
fan.
shot he won that.
Yeah, of course he saw it. I mean, come on, it's Yumpy. Tom, please, you know better than that. If there's anything that seems impossible, let Yumpy try.
See, now I'm starting to question even more why he put that smoke onto the spike, because if he can do that with a classic versus a rifle when his opponent has full shields, he should have bet on himself to hit the headshot previously. Cryptix is giving a go of this, though. Only 2 players remaining. He's going to have to make a play through, which also makes him vulnerable.
Still
He's
gonna
actually
try.
managed to get onto the site. There's no way he wins this. Like,
No,
they're both currently surrounding him in this angle.
You said
And
it.
while the time's gone, but he might be able to just remove every single weapon. A nice attempt. It's a costly round for sure. And actually,
Totally.
Boaster's going to go down. That's a big win. They don't actually take the round, but considering the investment, they'll take that all day long.
And not only that, they also got 3 of their most powerful ults activated as well. So this puts them in a quite decent spot if you ask me. Take a look at that again. Come on, I mean, this is Durka, by the way. It's not a random matchmaking game. This is Durka, by the way. Just putting that how calm he can stay with a classic in such a duel. Mad
But
props.
nothing to lose, I guess.
And true. I mean, sure, but still. Come on. I mean, still, Tom. Come on. It's a classic. What is this? 30 meters? Or 6 foot? Whatever that is.
I don't think 6 foot and 30 meters are the same length. Like that
20 inch. 1 yard.
These are all very different measurements, which you are currently saying. Now, Scream, again, like he's in a position to open up rounds. He even catches players off guard with his timing. He's just not connecting the shots, which...
No.
It's not needed to be highlighted to the viewers. I think they'll know this, but it's not something we see very often from Scream. And in the final map of a best of 5 that will eliminate them from the tournament, that's a pretty big deal. Now we're going to see the Seekers expended from Soulcast. He'll have information as to where they are, and that's a little bit more like it. Mystic gone with a single tap. He spots Domer as well, who will live to tell the tale at least. They're also going to deny that, and Link's caught another player trying to lurk through mid. Time's starting to tick away, and FNATIC don't have much in this round at all.
Well, suddenly they're only down to 2 even. And as we start off with a very awkward fight between Boaster as well as Scream, things most likely only come down to the 2 lads we're seeing here. A very happily smiling Magnum and Ice Cold Finn. But obviously, this is not the joke where you start someone walking at the bar. It's just 2 guys who try to save their rifles. Because, as we noticed, that previous round was damn costly. If they brought through the majority, I think it wouldn't necessarily look like that right now.
Yeah, of course. If they didn't lose those remaining weapons, I think we see them go for this and try and do damage onto Liquid's economy. But this is as good as it gets for Liquid.
Yeah.
They had a slow start to the game. They now win a round flawlessly. Don't lose any weaponry, so they'll have a bit of an extra buffer when it comes to the finances on their side of things. They also, well, the only ultimate orbs they give up to their opponents are based off shooting them in the face, which I think is a acceptable amount to give up. The only worry, though, is the fact that okay, their ults are close, but we nearly have all 5 on for FNATIC right now. And especially when you get into the cases of Hunter's Fury, very good for clearing out some of those closer angles. And then the afterplants possible using the Viper's Pit. Those are 2 ults that you really don't want coming online at the same time.
Just holding the holes for the second. Yampi is getting his dart out immediately, and suddenly... Who was even pre-aiming that? Why am I not surprised? Brilliant stuff. And so, the A side seems to be the one that they're going for, at least for the moment. Passive mid control coming in from Doma. Other than that, A is an intriguing position, isn't it?
You can actually see the player in the corner. He actually almost killed Magnum there, aiming for his opponent, or aiming for his teammate even. Now, Scream has managed to already find the opener onto Magnum. This is starting to become a little bit worrying because there's already 3 players looking to try and defend this A site. B with a lone defender. And 45 seconds for FNATIC to actually get something done here. I think they're almost going to need some sort of hero play. And I don't know if they'll expect Soulcast to be this close.
I would be surprised if they wouldn't. At the same time, it doesn't work. And here they want to sell the fake. Doma
30 seconds left.
is showing them, guys, we're going A. Please, can you hold A? Thank you very much. In the meantime, hold on. Both look like it would absolutely be on route on B. They double fake this, don't they? They double fake it.
This looks like they're saving again.
Yeah,
but, okay. Does Boaster actually have a gun to save, though? Like that's the thing. They're looking to hold on to weaponry here, but Boaster, sure, the shields, I guess, is at least something, but I'm surprised that they're not actually going to try and do some extra damage or at least find an extra weapon, because I don't think I've ever seen anyone save a frenzy. Like, ever. Like, I don't see the point.
In the meantime, I'm going to use a second to obviously thank the exceptional, outstanding, salient, insert word here, Sapphire, for a great observing throughout this best of 5. Obviously, I don't feel like we've missed something, but with Sapphire on the cam, I don't think you can even miss something.
It's been weird so far from FNATIC. I want to see them go for more of an all-in take, especially with saving what they can to get something back into this next round. I think they've got the ultimates, as said, to make this one very competitive. But look at the aggression. I'm liking this from Liquid. They're not allowing any space for FNATIC to set up these executions. Again, we're going to see them now going a little bit faster. And this is where the Hunter's Fury becomes valuable, but it's not really done too much in terms of clearing out the site. Both players still here, but Doma goes pushing through. A Mystic dies to the snake bite. Oh, no, it's Cryptic, sorry, but oh dear.
It's still awkward. I'd still sign that this is awkward. FNATIC are touring around with the players here on the B side. It's still a Viper's Pit that being put to use. Scream considers if he pushes through. Yes, easily he does. Seemed nearly reckless, and that Tasmanian Tigers seem to find out what has happened. The wall is gonna collapse any second soon. Great information they tried to gain. That dart will not get anything. Still, they need to save Mystic. He's not allowed to die. And as I say that, Boaster and Doma chime in, easily finding the frag, sensing where those players are coming from, and pulverizing them. That's going to be the 5th, and I don't have any doubts that FNATIC could run a bit further with that. The next part, though, is obviously, Tom, how's it economically looking like for the Team Liquid side of things?
Oh, it's going to be as good as it gets. They had a flawless round, and then they had a round where FNATIC basically saved after losing a few picks. So, yeah, financially, Liquid should be booming, like buying back in with operators, whatever they like for this next round. I do question if they might change things up a little bit when it comes to either their mid control over this round, because I think that's where the majority have been lost. Like, we've seen them get aggressive and lose a duel or two. Or in this round, they almost left it open, and FNATIC have finally been able to capitalize on it. Like, considering that was the opener for them, they do very well to not only force players out of position with the Hunter's Fury, but then they just had like the utility placed at the back of the site, so there was nowhere for them realistically to hide. And I think that's something that a lot of teams almost don't do enough. I want to see pressure being put on that B site. Instead, though, it's looking like we might go back to more of a classic execution when it comes to A.
Well, this is the absolute default we see. Always a player being put towards mid and the rest is pushing A. And as I say that, Yampi is pushing very aggressively and seems to make it work on one of them. Cryptix is still close to the pyramid and is going to find one together with Scream. Those kills are working decently. Magnum, hold on, that's awkward, but he knows where the pyramid's player is. Come on, Magnum, this is not what we know, but it's still not going according to plan. A very quick round that ends in favor of Liquid. Just a few individual whiffs that pretty much cost that here.
Yeah, I will say Liquid also had a very good read on this scenario.
Sure.
As said, I would have liked to see more pressure being put on that B site, as I don't think it's been truly tested too much thus far by FNATIC. And I'm not sure how strong that hold realistically is going to be. Instead, they try and switch it up, and there's 4 players there, ready and waiting for Liquid. Also, yeah, I think the whiff from Magnum definitely didn't help. Like, that player was blind for a good few seconds, a god flash coming out from Doma. And, yeah, they're not going to get the round on it. Now, again, we're going to see the same aggressive play. This is an attempt to try and read that maybe there might not be as many players there as before. And, well, for Scream, this hasn't gone great. Normally, when you go in for the Bladestorm, you don't bring an extra gun with you. That's exactly what he's done, and now he's left on a classic for the round.
Yeah. This game doesn't seem to be really working for him.
This is a fake.
And, hold on. Taint player? Is that Scream as well? Scream got the Taint now in this one. It's really not his game. It doesn't feel like he's 100% in it at the moment. And Esposo tries to fake Link. Does he get the kill? Nope. Instantly beheaded. He's gonna hold the sights. Definitely a player we saw previously on Bind, for example, having massive impact. And the players are coming in left, right, and center. But nope, Doma's gonna find him. The tripwire is not going according to plan. Magnum's flank is putting a lot of pressure on Liquid this second.
This is the one player as well that Scream realistically could kill with that classic.
True.
Soulcast, this kill's needed. He's not going to get it. Now this becomes an impossible scenario. Scream, he's finally found himself a gun, the dash in, not enough time to pull the weapon back out, and Magnum is there eventually to close it. Good fake from FNATIC. Like, again, this is something we do see quite often, trying to use that lockdown to force players out, and especially using it on the A site. It's one of those things where you're never going to clear out the whole site anyway, so it's not that surprising that they didn't go in on an execution for that. But it does sort of pinpoint what I was expecting from FNATIC when it came to pressuring B, because they have had a reliance on that position being held by a single player. Like, that's been their go-to. Like, okay, either it's been Cryptix or it's been Link, and one of them has had to do the job. And in most cases, well, in that case at least, it was a one and done.
Magnum's backing off, put a bit of pressure on Scream, but he's holding the midsection. You asked for it to change something up in middle, but Boaster's gonna be quick. The squad is entering B side swiftly. Do they even ignore Yampi? They do! And suddenly, he's coming out. That operator is eliminated from the game. And as they devour one after another, look how swift they attack the B site. I mean, this was pretty flawless by the book.
Spike planted.
Yeah, it's looking a bit weak. It has to be said. Like, the B site thus far has definitely been the more vulnerable of the two. It's not something that's been overly pressured up until the last couple of rounds, but well, I said it, the second they took it the first time, I'm not surprised to see FNATIC just double down and continue to push in that direction, because so far the holds have not been enough to deny their initial takes. And well, this time they even gambled. 3 players around that area, they don't get a single kill, so it's starting to look a little bit shaky for Liquid when it comes to their defensive side. Now, I know Jess was saying that she has a lot of faith when it comes to the Liquid attack, and that the second half is where you should be focusing if you're a Liquid fan, which I know there's a hell of a lot of you out there. But at the same time, they have to give themselves enough room that if they were to lose the pistol, they would have a way back into this map. And at the moment, it's not looking like that's the case.
Doma, by the way, having a fantastic game, which is not only measured by his kills for me. Surely had the ace in the beginning. That was the perfect start. But also the impact he has with the flashes. You mentioned it earlier. It's brilliant. Exactly the kind of player you need. And I'm so thankful to see guys like Doma who are, you know, the guy's individually skilled. I mean, we don't really need to talk about it for that long. But he's taken that somewhat of a support, and as Sky is now in 3.0, not only support, that's somewhat of a support role. It's just lovely to see. In total, no duelist is, I think, something that fits to this map and to FNATIC in general.
Yeah, Doma's one of those players that we put in a bracket of like a flex player. Like I genuinely think that you go through, even over the last 2 months, like the agency's played, you've got your classic, like your Raze, your Phoenix, but then you've got Brimstone in there as well. You've got Sky and you've got Sage. Like he has adapted his role to fit Durka into this team. And as said, like this guy's 18 years old. He turned 18 just a day or so ago. So this is someone who is showing characteristics of like a hugely experienced player with a lot of depth to their comp, when realistically he's so young that it's almost just incredibly impressive. And you can definitely put Durka within a similar bracket. Like this FNATIC team is one for the future. It's almost weird to think that Mystic seems like it's almost like an older experienced player when realistically he's only 19.
True. No, I'm absolutely with you. I mean, considering why FNATIC brought in the guys of Magnum and Durka, well, we can talk about that in a more chilled second. In the meantime, it seems to be coming all down to the push again over on the side of B, but in the meantime, Yumpy's taking a lot of control towards Halls, and Boaster, he can only work with 2 other soldiers on his side.
He's dominated the tube. Now you can understand why Dome is starting to take these pigs. He's been winning the majority of them. That kill was a big one, though. That not only gives the information of where the remaining players are, but it stopped FNATIC squeezing this back into a 3 versus 3 scenario. However, the 2 players remaining, Durka and Doma. You're never going to doubt them in any scenario, and especially with Cryptics being isolated, it could be a problem. Durka just runs through already spraying. Knowing roughly where his opponent will be, this will grant them an afterplan. Doma will also spot the position of Yumpy, who for now at least is somewhat isolated. They might try and make a play off of this with the remaining couple still looking to try and come in on the flank. If they can get rid of Yumpy here, the round might be over.
Indeed. At one point, they will have this realization of what's happening. If the flank is coming in rather earlier than later, and as Doma is just holding that position where the 2 are coming from, this is becoming problematic. He hits the first and needs to find Yumpy in case that is happening. An 8 HP part, that is actually Scream on 100, and Doma on 26. Now he's gonna stick it. He's gonna stick it, he's gonna hold it, he's gonna half it, and now he makes a move. Doma is known and spotted, but he goes on. Doma, you gotta do something.
He's got it.
Yeah, that's done. And Liquid find themselves the 4th.
Doma a little bit tentative while on low HP. Didn't really have the ability to swing out. Even still, though, that's a 2v4 that they managed to turn into a winnable position. There's no round, it seems, that FNATIC cannot take, and Doma currently 16-4 is the difference maker. You look at the rest of the frags in the server, it's about even. It's very close, but he is having a worldie of a game. Even still, though, 7-5 for Liquid. They'll take it.
Thanks.
The thing is, I really gotta say in this, you mentioned it earlier, the likes of a Durka, of a Durka as well as a Magnum, those guys have been brought in because they're team players. They're highly versatile. The reason why Magnum was even brought in, so he can actually, there's less stress onto Boaster. To have somebody who can individually think and does not need to think about lineups. But now, talking about lineups, Durka starting that one good, is trying to find kills, whilst the remainder over on the A side actually hold them up from going further. Oy.
Oh, it was looking good for Link, but he's going to get caught out. How are you planning to get past this turret, Yumpy? Oh, I think he almost ended up just being bait for Soulcast to give him a chance in the 1 versus 3. Yumpy, he has some amazing moments, and then he has some where you're incredibly confused as to what the plan was there. Well, Soulcast, we've seen him pull off miracles before. He's had some incredible maps of BREZEE as well, but this would definitely have to be the best of them. The clock ticking and his position now given up. The rest of the team going to rotate in, and no one's even really tagged. It's all too easy for FNATIC. An incredible half, an impressive one at that, as they go 8-4.
Is it a harbinger of a proper Liquid win? Well, we saw easier score lines and still noticed how close it can get. Technical timeout, though. As we noticed, we wouldn't really have a best of 5 with a proper technical timeout, right? It would be weak.
Well, no, I think what's basically happened is Liquid have just typed in chat saying check him PC because Doma is playing so well that, you know, they don't believe he is legit. So he's playing not normally is what some people would say. But
suddenly Boaster is popping up behind them and he checks the PC.
Yeah. He's behind everybody at all times. So he's responded saying that no, it's legit. Doma just he's a beast, basically. As Mitch Man would say, the man's a beast. So, yeah, we've been told that, fingers crossed, everything crossed, this is going to be a short technical timeout. So if that's not the case, just make sure to at the Valorant EU Twitter. I know Cameron loves getting interactions telling him that that you want the game to start. So if you get a moment, just make sure to go over there and just ask him why he hasn't started the game. Also, maybe just send him some nice messages because he does a fantastic job.
I thought we as casters are supposed to start the game.
Not only Pansy has the power to do that. Like I've heard that although there's the verified thing with Ryan, she's like so far verified that she actually just controls the whole stream. Like Pansy is she's allowed to flex on basically everyone. So if she decides that there's going to be a technical pause, there's going to be a technical pause. Nothing we can do about it.
So as some say Mother Earth, she's basically Mother Valorant.
Well, to be honest, you know, every time that Hypoc has like technical issues, that's actually just Pansy deciding that she wants a little bit more time to talk and that the Hypoc will not be allowed to for at least
silence Hypoc, something like that? Is that
yeah, pretty much. Okay. She just DMs the production and cuts off everything that he's doing.
Power, electricity, any connection to the outside world. Okay,
they make the lighting in his room too bright, like all of that stuff.
Ah, yeah, right. Summer in the UK, great experience.
His headphones off.
Either way, poor Hypoc. In the meantime, well, poor Liquid for the moment. Magnum once more takes the lead as he finds a kill onto Scream. It seems like that attack is already killed. No further opportunities as though Link and Soulcast come in to assist and flank around. FNATIC got a player more on the server.
Yeah, it's even worse because the spike is dropped on the site. So realistically, it's going to be very difficult. Now that flash could actually work out in Soulcast's favor.
Oh no!
Neither of them have connected. Domus still checks, but it doesn't matter. Soulcast gets the jump on him, and now the player on site is actually surrounded. There's going to be a huge problem for Mystic. He has to get the timing right here on where to face. And actually, Boast is going on a long wraparound, but that wraparound's not really going to help him out much at all. Getting into the corner, Mystic's actually caught without gun in hand, but he's still managing to survive here. Somehow, just wasting a ridiculous amount of time, dancing, dodging, weaving, and still finding the kill. It's left all onto Soulcast. A 1 versus 2. The spike in his hand. He might have a decent idea now that Boast is actually coming in on the flank after the trip was broken. And he's got to try and isolate one of these duels, but they're going together. It's going to need to be the 2 taps. The first not connected, and Boaster is there to put him in the grave. FNATIC take the second pistol of the map, and it is going to be an uphill battle for Liquid if they want to survive in this tournament.
The staunch remaining soldiers are FNATIC, which leads to, well, problems ensuing for the Liquid side. Unfortunate ending towards there, as you have to say, that was an awkward duel that we saw happening here from Link. Really odd, and I can't really blame him. At the same time, was still somewhat odd to watch. Well, if FNATIC's are already fully joyous or not, I don't know yet. I don't know yet, Tom. Because there is still a long road, a little bit of an upgrade coming in with the Sheriffs, and we know how lethal the likes of Yampy or Scream are just on those tiny pistols.
Hey, you know what? Jess has full faith in the Liquid attack, so, you know, if it doesn't work out, you know who to blame. So now I've thrown production under the bus, socials, and Jess. I've got a few more people to tick off. Oh yeah, but you were under the bus before we even began casting today. So
what is that supposed to mean?
That's fine. Like,
you were the one running for the fries.
You live under the bus.
I live in a closet. You know that behind me is the gate to Narnia. In the meantime, well, seems like someone is closing the gate, or more likely open it up. Importantly, Magnum is going for the gate any second soon. Maybe in combination with Boaster, they could get themselves a bit of an advantage. Not happening, though. Screams out. Yampy on 76. I mean, not ideal could describe this quite well, I would say.
Yeah, it's a round where, again, you're not expecting too much. I'm sure they'll be frustrated with the 145 headshot, but well, since then, Durka has received a heal, and I'm curious to see what's actually going to go on here. They're maybe trying to play with the rotations a little bit, but you have to remember that Boaster
30 seconds left.
still has the ability to place his stars to try and throw them down, slow them into position, and maybe they'll get a spike plant here. Actually, they're starting to put some real pressure on. In fact,
Hold on.
both Yumpy and Link have connected headshots within a matter of seconds. There's a
way.
chance here for Liquid.
No, this can't be happening again. They gotta check the left-hand side. Does Boaster do so? No, he doesn't. Yumpy up close and personal and makes it work in favor. And this is where you go for it again. You would think this is all easy peasy lemon squeezy. Nuh-uh. Link's not gonna be killed by that snake bite though. Yumpy has to make a move. Still finds a kill. Is he onto the quad? Nope. But Cryptix comes in to support. This was a thrifty, my friend, that worked in favor of Liquid. I simply can't believe it. I honestly can't believe that this works. They had the man advantage. They had the entry. What else did it eat?
Yeah, again, I think it comes down to a solid flash, but also just a few angles not being checked here and there. But a big round for Liquid. That's the lifeline they needed. A way into this game, and for FNATIC, it's probably just going to have to be a few pistols of their own, wanting to obviously make sure that they have a decent buy coming into the next, but it's a chance for basically Liquid to really build into this attacking side, and for now at least, looking like a fairly fast-paced take of mid, clearing a lot of the closer angles initially, already wrapping back through, and while Scream's going to take a bit of damage here, he's got to be a little bit wary of Boaster, but he clears out the defender spawn. The only man who's going to be in their way is Mystic. No scoping with the Marshall. It's a nice shot, but it's not going to lead to much more. And now the only man remaining is Magnum. First one's for free. I don't know if he spotted Soulcast cross, though.
That's the thing. Ah, there you go.
Planted.
Right support. Timing of Soulcast is crucial. Uh-oh. Is he gonna pop it in time? Oh, poor Soulcast. Poor Magnum. Because it would have been if it was just seconds away. Seconds away from making that possible. It didn't happen. 9-6. It seems like we're going back on track to our good old, are we actually heading into overtime or not road?
I'm gonna enjoy the rounds we've got, Zesh. Like I'm gonna wait for now and not talk about OT when we're still in the early stages of this one. But yeah, this is where the going gets a little bit tougher. Sure, FNATIC have definitely had a slip up, a blip on the radar, and I might want to hide away from that round, just like our Teddy. But realistically, this is where they come up against the rifles.
Uh-oh. Soulcast is making a move, actually trying to get a bit further side for cages.
Seek them.
And this is trying to take a bit more room. Yep, he's backing off. Scream is still looking to get those players back on the side. And those blades finally! Because otherwise he would have had 0 left, but finally recharged. Spike's getting down, Tom. And we might head into a 7th, but yep, as you say it.
Yeah, they're not going to be risking this one. Losing both players on the site after plants already ensued. They know that there's probably still quite a lot of utility available as well for Team Liquid because of the fact that they went for such a fast-paced take. And I'm liking their use of the mid-split. I think they've started to realize exactly where Magnum is playing on this site. He's sat towards the back of, I guess, on the map, the left side of Madonna, as it is so called. But, yeah, it's going to be one of those things where he might have to try and be a little bit more versatile. Either that or they might have to look to play for more of a retake setup because the A site in general can be relatively hard to try and control. Now, for Scream, I'm actually surprised to see that he's not going for a little bit more here, but he does still have a rifle available to him, so not wanting to give anything back over to FNATIC, not wanting to allow them to build up any more ultimates because they already have one of them online, which is going to be the lockdown.
You know, it's been a while since I've mentioned numbers, my dearest Tom, right?
Oh dear, here we go.
I mean, it's not that irrelevant, okay? Let me put it that way. It's not that irrelevant. The big issue that the side of FNATIC has, the side of FNATIC has, that's the right way, is that over the course they have played this map and they have to face attackers getting the spike down, they have a real issues in retaking. Which is something, I have to be honest with you though, a lot of teams have, but at the same time, FNATIC is quite successful with retaking B most of the time, having an over-average success rate on retaking B. This is still a valuable asset considering what Liquid has attacked now by far most of the time. There you go. That was not so bad, come on.
Sure. I think a lot of teams in general, though, just have issues when it comes to the defensive side of this map. Like, I think that a lot of the time, the A site is incredibly difficult to hold. And then if you lose the B site, it's incredibly difficult to retake. So that's why we see a lot of utility-heavy comps to try and give you opportunities to garner information very early. But also, like, for example, Viper's almost a necessity because you need to have those snake bites. You need to have maybe a nano swarm, for example, to try and clear out angles. Now, the route that Liquid have gone is far more information-based, as we have, of course, Link sitting on the Cypher, which is an agent I thoroughly enjoy on this map. And I think when it comes to the defense, sure, you can see that Killjoy work out. I think the crossfires that Magnum plays with his turret are pretty good. But I think the information gathered by Cypher and the trips and Denial with the cages, it might be just that bit more impactful.
I feel what you mean. I feel absolutely what you mean.
Careful.
Well, Boaster is trying to take a bit more control towards middle and successfully takes out Link. Well, here's the man advantage again for FNATIC, but we saw what Liquid made it work with. Remember, FNATIC had the pistol, they had the knife, and suddenly the Prancing Horse was somehow successful with just a few upgraded sidearms. Again, they pushed the A site, and suddenly the issues start to just evolve around it.
Again, they should know at this stage that Magnum is always around this angle. Is he actually?
No.
I was going to say, popping the lockdown there would almost be just mental. Like, that has such a high percentage of being destroyed. Well, he's actually going to do it. He's going to try and force them back a little bit, maybe bait out an ult of his own and cause a bit of a distraction. I guess it worked in that regard and has put things into a 2 versus 2 scenario.
No.
Cryptics, though, landing an integral shot. It comes down to this man once again. The early kill goes his way, but he's taken so much damage. It's the second attempt. No smoke this time. Is going to go down onto the spike. Durka, though, almost baits him into the peak. 7 bullets left in the clip.
4.
A single might do the job. He needs to land a headshot and he won't connect it. Yumpy this time will cling on. It's 1 for 1 in clutches for each of them. And Liquid now start to climb that mountain.
My God, the duel between the Finns that ends up in an ice-cold Yumpy taking the victory. Ah, that's so sad. I mean, this first frag was already wild. Let's put it that way. And at the same moment, he goes closer. I mean, it's understandable. The Razor replay is showing us right here. It's so reasonable what he does. He wants to really narrow that angle, but from that point on, he's just running out of bullets for the fights. Liquid is getting close, Tom.
Yeah, well, unless they're going to lose a round to what is a thrifty buy, we should be seeing an equalization here, and they're just rinsing and repeating. Just like we saw the B site towards the M for FNATIC, we're seeing the A site coming through. Now, it's a very, very quick flank, but they're so aware of this. They're so aware. Second flash. Ooh, it's not quite going to work out. Actually, this gives a chance for Magnum to at least earn himself a rifle. Now, sure, there's definitely going to be players homed in, and this late lurk from Link actually almost ends this round in its tracks. He's going to catch out Mystic trying to flank him, and unless Boaster can pull off, or sorry, Magnum can pull off something hugely impressive, it's going to be a 9-9. Scoreline equalized. Liquid back in the running.
Yeah, and at that point, I would actually start to raise the question if it makes sense to use that neural theft that early on, considering their kind of weaponry they had. They mean business. I mean, this is not just we have a 2-0 advantage and we can save it up for a serious round.
But
obviously, we're talking about a very
it's also
important
a
round.
rubbish ult.
It was. Yeah, but you see my point?
It's one of the worst ults in the game. Like, it gives them information, but in this case, it's like, let's keep our economy strong. Let's not give over any weapons.
Yeah.
And let's confirm the scoreline. Like, I don't think there's been many buy rounds where we've gone, oh my God, that round was won by the neural theft. Like, it's not happened. It's just
I
not
see
fair.
your point. It's still, you could have put it to better use, is what I'm trying to say. And I believe that. But still, it's all right, Tom. We can keep on doing that. The neural theft.
We can agree to disagree. That's fine.
Oh, it's the cutest thing you said throughout the entire day. Over 6 hours.
Guess which way they're going. Now, there's a site with a big B on it that's locked down at the moment. The other has an A on it. Now, Dirk has finally managed to get his operator. Something that can sometimes change the rounds all on its own, but he's going to be tagged up. They know exactly where he is. There should be no way he gets out of this alive, and, well, Cryptics doesn't actually get that kill. Yumpy's just that little bit too quick. They can do nothing to defend this A site. It is falling again and again and again, and Soulcast is already homed in on the door. He knows that this player's in. Boaster so far behind. They're just holding for exits at this point. Liquid, the lead is going their way. And as of right now, it looks like the map's going their way as well. The defensive side of FNATIC is struggling and Liquid are dominating.
Oh, no, this is disastrous. And I really have more and more concerns considering that force that Liquid won, which they, by the way, shouldn't have won. They've done a brilliant job individually, but it was a 9-5 scoreline, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, no.
And
they're not even able to... You can see on the faces of Liquid, they believe they've got this now. Like, yeah. They are fully in full force when it comes to their attacking side. And as of right now, nothing FNATIC have attempted has worked. They have gone A-side like 4 or 5 rounds in a row, and they have entried with ease. They have forced players off angles. And FNATIC, sorry, are looking like they're completely choked out of this map.
Yeah, yes. And this is the thing, right? The amount of confidence you can gain from such a force. We were coming through an 8-4 half. And an 8-4 is dominant. Not that this thing is already done and dusted, but dominant, I would say. And at that point in time, Jesus, it's really getting me to the point where I have second thoughts if just that single force itself really causes some of the issues, because that's already somewhat mentally breaking you and giving you a lot of confidence as Liquid. But here's the timeout for FNATIC. It's time to talk things through, because seemingly nothing has worked ever since. And this is not just any game. This is the best of 5 they played for the last 5+ hours. And it's all about a slot for the EMEA Challengers playoffs. This is not a group stage. This is not for lower bracket. This is serious. This is where you mean business.
Yeah, this is everything. Like, this is one of the 2 teams that went to Berlin not even getting to face off against the best in EMEA. So this is huge. And it's going to come down to literally the last few rounds of this one. As said, though, FNATIC firmly on the back foot now. 6 rounds in a row for Liquid. Their attack side has looked unstoppable. And the purchase that currently comes in is, again, just looking like some sort of jumble sale buy. Like, they've got Marshals, they have got a shotgun, they've got a Spectre, and of course a Sheriff. And for Liquid, they're going to know this. They're going to know that their buy sucks. So they're playing it nice and slow, patient, waiting for any sort of aggression to come through from the side of FNATIC, because this is not the round where you want to be making mistakes.
A thing that I just noticed that I would really like to see any active user do in program: has Linked changed his crosshair? And the next would be the poll: has Linked now have an uglier crosshair? Maybe it's just a creative idea. I don't know. It just popped into my head. But you creative guys out there, with hashtag VCT, by the way, you can also tweet at us. Tom mentioned it earlier. Feel free. The engagement has been good. And now, let's see what the first engagement will be, because seemingly Doma has figured out a lot what is in front of the gates of the B site.
They're actually going to go into the B site. There are 2 snake bites still available here for Mystic. And he's going to be lurking within the smoke. Oh, it's a little bit awkward, but he gets away with it. Somehow still alive. And already we're going to see the Hunter's Fury come through. It's 2 coming out for Durka. They're now starting to run out of time. They've been completely shut out of this round. And they still haven't cleared Mystic. They get it at the last few seconds. The spike is going to be dropped to the deck. And now it's left all onto Soulcast. Surely, this plant, I was going to say, will be denied, but it won't matter. They're not going to care. A huge amount of weaponry retrieved for FNATIC. And, well, I'm going to go ahead and say to Team Liquid, if you've got a strategist right here, I would just keep going A, because it looks like the B site is has a lot less of a success rate for them.
So, everyone brought knives.
That is brutal. Considering you mentioned in the beginning of the round, this is basically the one you don't want to lose. It has been somewhat of a thrifty. Everybody picked up a weapon he just found on the ground, and FNATIC make that work. They put them into a horrible spot, a realm of grief, and they continue to just slaughter them again and again over on the B side. Nothing worked, and as you said, if you got a game plan, I think the B side is not the most ideal position to attack. It puts us in a tie where Liquid could have had the 11th.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they don't utilize any mid control as well. Maybe trying to surprise them, but they didn't catch anyone. And just a late push through B, especially in a thrifty round, it has so many risks behind it. Now they're going to pick up the pace, and guess what? It's right into this ace site. They've been spotted, however, by every single one of those little squids. They're going to be pulled back as well. Doma's already started this off. A first kill going their way for one. Sturker, they might have just brought things back into contention, but Yumpy's still alive and kicking with his operator in hand and Link alongside him. They turn it into a 3 versus 2. A winnable scenario, especially now they've retrieved the spike.
We saw impossible things being turned around. 180 so far in this best of 5 series.
Scanning ahead.
As information tries to be gained, he's gonna knock on the back door, takes out Boaster, and suddenly we've got into man equalized fights, 2 on each. And this is becoming problematic. Here it goes. Neural theft once more put in. Now they know about every single one. Can't prepare for their attack. FNATIC seem to have it. FNATIC seem to have an opportunity. And the wall goes back down again. A bit of a bamboozle. But do they expect that he's coming from that position right there? Doma is going to be eliminated. It's all down to Mystic. And he could become the hero of the FNATIC side and take a clutch in favor of the big orange. But they're all hiding. They don't want to even give him the opportunity to get close to the spike. And it seems like with 10 bullets left in the mag, you will hardly have any chances. That would be brusque and big mistakes from Liquid if they actually lose this one. But he's backing off, Tom. He says bye-bye to the side. FNATIC looked like they could have had number 11, but they let it slip.
What a round from Link. Again, like, we have players that we highlight as just with this unbelievable ability to win rounds for their team. We talk about Mystic, who's definitely been a little bit quieter in this map, and then you talk about Link. Like, Link has always been the ones that has those impactful double kills that can turn a game on its head, and I think he's just done it there. Like, firstly, turning it back to a possible scenario, and then even basically winning them the round with some aggressive plays as well. Huge stuff coming out from him. If you're a Liquid fan right now, I think that basically makes you a Link fan.
I mean, why would you be a Link fan? Anyway, that's the thing, right? Man's having impact, not necessarily with the kills all the time, but this time around really plays excellent fights for his squad. And they seem to once more push towards the A side. This is where they feel comfortable. Snakebite, that's onto Magnum. Man is even slow, but he waits behind the smoke. The alarm bot triggers, and here it comes. Oh no, this is so uncomfortable. But Boaster at the same time brings them in a man advantageous situation. Magnum fails, and the A side once more is the big bloody battlefield.
Spike planted.
We've seen the Cosmic Divide. They can run through, they can take space, but once again, there's a flank coming from Link. If he can make it work again, it would be impressive, but they're trying to take this control before he can actually get on the flank. Yumpy needs to connect some shots because Link's still going to be a moment or two, at least buying them a little bit of extra time. He hits the shot straight through the box.
You gotta be kidding me.
One dropped, and now Link has the timing on top both. It is a massive clutch again from these two, playing in perfect harmony to win a 12th round. How are Liquid clutching out these rounds?
I can tell you. I wish I would have an answer for you. I wish I would have an answer for you. This is wild.
Out of charges. Revealing
This is absurd. He's buying so much time, and I mean this. It's just nasty. How do you want to describe that? What is the right word for such an absolute perverted shot? And Liquid around, a single one away, and look at the buy from their opponent. FNATIC could be eliminated from this. They were in the finals of Masters in Reykjavik.
Need that back.
The buy's not good. They tried to defend Magnum with stars in the last round. This time, it's going to come down to his own brilliance. He's got to smoke once again to try and defend him, but Cryptic's inside it. Boaster has at least managed to find one. The IGL trying to hold on here, trying to bring his team back from the depths. Already, though, we're going to see the Viper's Pit. How is this man here again? It can't happen for a third time! Link! He's just so good at getting in behind them. They haven't been able to catch him. Mystic is always the hero they need, though. The man to bring them back from impossible scenarios. He's got Doma alongside him, but this man being behind could be a problem. Mystic again is already going to pick off another, turning it into a 2 versus 2. Has a Viper's Pit of his own. Is going to bring it back, but he has to do it all, and this time he can't. It is Team Liquid to head